Hi, everyone. So, I want to dive a little bit in John chapter 11. So, this book talks about Lazarus' death. And it says, Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. So when Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. So it goes on, and the disciples, they say, well, if he's sick, he'll be okay later. But as a few days went by, Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead. That's in verse 14. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. Now, Jesus said, I'm glad for your sake that I was not there, meaning he would have probably moved out of timing because it was someone he loved. This was someone he loved who died. And so he said, for your sake, I'm glad I wasn't there, that you may believe. Nonetheless, let's go to him. Okay, and so they go forward, and so when Jesus came to the location where Lazarus had died, he found out that Lazarus has already been in a tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had joined the women around Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went to him, but Mary was sitting in the house. Now Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask God, God will give you. And Jesus said to her, Your brother will rise again. And Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at that last day. See, they know that they will rise again. They know that they will rise again. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. And so when she said these things, she went her way and secretly called Mary, her sister, saying, The teacher has come and is calling for you. And as soon as she heard that, she rose quickly and came to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into town, but was in a place where Martha met him. And when the Jews who were with her in the house and comforting her, when they saw that Mary rose up quickly and went out, followed her, saying, She is going to the tomb to weep there. Then when Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Therefore, when Jesus saw her weeping and the Jews who came with her weeping, he groaned in his spirit and was troubled. And he said, Where have you laid him? Then they said, Lord, come see. And Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him. And some said, could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind also keep this man from dying? That was verse 37. And so as we go to verse 39, Jesus said, Martha, the sister of him who is dead, said to him, Lord, by the time there is a stench, for he has been dead 4 days. 4 days. And Jesus said to her, did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead man was lying. And Jesus lifted his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you always hear me. But because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me. Now when he had said these things, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he who had died came out bound, hand and foot, with grave clothes, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. And Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. Now, to someone that may sound like, oh, that sounds like some mummy being rose from the dead. But mankind probably made these movies as they know that there have been people who have risen from the dead. Except mummies are actually dead. Lazarus rose up from the dead. And he told them to take the grave clothes off him. Now, then we go forth, and people see that Lazarus was alive. And many Jews who had come to Mary and seen the things that Jesus did believed in him. So when they saw the miracle, they believed in him. But some of them went away to tell the Pharisees, to tell the religious people, the people they know who are hateful, who want to destroy them. They went to tell them, like snitches or people who's, gossiping. And the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered to council and said, what shall we do? For this man works many signs. And if we let him alone like this, everyone will believe in him. And the Romans will come and take away both our places and our nation. They did not care that he was really the Messiah. They just cared about their own power. They didn't want to lose their own power. So they began to plot to kill Jesus. I wanted to bring this to your attention because Jesus wanted you to know that in this life, he has conquered death because he has risen a man from the grave. And we will continue because he has risen Lazarus from the dead. He demonstrated this before his own death.